is Rey Skywalker's Sunday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. I must plug in my earbud charger into the side of the computer. That'll work. Let us play with the latest iteration of very easy meditation. We'll begin with the first of 4 phases of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following way, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can multiply this by 8 for a total of 96. So in our left hand, we count sets of 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sets of 12 each. Oops, wrong button. Now this is our first of 4 phases, so to keep track of things, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to gather in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. Come, let us demystify enlightenment. What if enlightenment was nothing more than mastery of Gautama Buddha's Eightfold Path? What does mastery mean? Mastery means we're so good at it that we practice it spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. And here's the irony. If all we do is train in mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so, then the remaining 6 folds will take care of themselves. So therefore, I think it would behoove us to view mindfulness and meditation through the lens of neuroscience. Well, it is just too cold in here. Okay. And we shall do that after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Oh, won't you please chant with me? The nudity of the octuple couple sporting and tantric union reminds us of the vulnerability so crucial to mindfulness. Sturgeon's Law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks. Since the Neolithic Revolution, human society has conditioned us to be so rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel that only a scant 10% or so strive to emulate the Buddha's attributes of being flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. Therefore, it should come as very little surprise that so many so-called meditation teachers are quite rigid and controlling. These individuals will implore their students to actively focus as well as analyze. Now, the only neural pathways available for such functions would be both the medial as well as dorsolateral regions of our prefrontal cortex. The problem is that when we overuse them, and it's so easy to overuse them, we trigger our amygdala, which functions as the seat of anxiety and aggression. Good news. Merely one amygdala and one prefrontal cortex do not the entirety of our central nervous system make. Let us discuss mindfulness. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we automatically access the sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to help us to notice in a very special way, to help us notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. But what have we evolved to notice? Generally, we've evolved to notice mind's antics of perception. Seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. Specifically, we can't help but notice desires and dreads. And we don't stop at noticing. Not only do we notice, but we wind up resisting the absence of what we desire, as well as resist the presence of what we dread. And from a survival point of view, that makes perfect sense. Now, I just rattled off a bunch of stuff. Is there an easy way to do this? Yes, there is. Silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during the inhalation, and we will gently nudge our cerebral cortex into the role of participating or cooperating with our sympathetic nervous system. Well, what are we to do with all these things that we notice? Enter meditation. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we cannot help but access our parasympathetic nervous system, divided between the lower third and the upper third of that same spinal cord. This parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release. What is it we release? We release our resistance to the absence of our object of desire, as well as our resistance to the presence of our objects of dread. And yes, there is an easy way to go about this. Silently and mentally recite the one-syllable FREEBIES during one's exhalation, and one cannot help but gently nudge one's cerebral cortex in the direction of cooperating with our parasympathetic nervous system. One of the first of four benefits of training in mindfulness and meditation is that we are reminded of the literal impermanence of our resistance to the presence or absence of that which we dread or desire. But also it helps us with our realization of figurative emptiness, that which we resist, as we relax into our exhalation, could feel as if it was as a non-graspable, as a vast empty void. Now, any good English teacher will remind us that a simile is only as useful as it is relatable. Therefore, we must ask, what is a real-world example of a non-graspable, vast empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could be tantalizing to the eye, is non-graspable to the hand? This is the first of four benefits of regularly training in mindfulness and meditation. It's now together as a team, let us practice. quick reminder, the importance of impermanence and emptiness is that they simply help us in the process of letting go. We come now to the second of 4 phases of mindful crease counting. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. By multiplying this by 8, we get 96. So we multiply it by 8 through the cunning use of sets. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 8 inhalations each. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. We keep track of our second phase, by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap. Doing this could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Oh, won't you please chant with me? The translucence of the all-good Father and Mother depicted in paintings remind us of meditation's experience of impermanence and non-graspability. What is the essence of mindfulness? To silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation. What is the essence of meditation? To silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation. By blending, during our inhalation, we are wired to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly all manner of things. The external, the internal, the physical, the mental, the pleasurable, the painful, the interesting, the boring, the glorious, and the grotesque. It's not our job to indulge our controlling tendencies, but to simply notice as we inhale and release as best as we can as we exhale. Now, release is not a fancy pants way of saying push the fuck away. What it really means is we are releasing our resistance. What then are we resisting? We are resisting the absence of that which we desire. We are resisting the presence of that which we dread. So, for instance, if there's a part of our body that hurts, we will most likely experience resistance toward that. If we are experiencing a painful memory or an unsettling anticipation of a potentially future event, we could feel it's our tendency, especially being raised in the culture that we're raised in, to try to change what we're imagining, or change what we are recalling, or change what we're feeling. But that's not our job. Our job is not to believe our way to nirvana, but to simply notice courageously in harmony with our inhalation, and physically relax as well as mentally release in harmony with our exhalation. Do that every 12 hours, and you could master the Buddha's Eightfold Path in a week or two. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to explore the second of 4 benefits of regularly training in mindfulness and meditation. Doing so can help to calm the tyranny of our amygdala's anxiety and aggression. That doesn't mean we stop feeling anxiety and aggression. It simply means that the anxiety and aggression exert less and less control over our choices, over our utterances, and over our deeds. Thus, our regular practice of mindfulness and meditation diffuse the ticking time bomb of cruel intentions, cruel communication, cruel conduct, and commerce that is as competitive as it can be cruel. And allow me to remind you that the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, or Buddhist philosophy, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. Let's meditate. We come now to the third of 4 phases of mindful crease counting. Over the span of 12 inhalations, let me get this over here, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can multiply this by 8 for a total of 96 by using our left hand to count sets. First, second, third, fourth set of 12 inhalations each. Fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth set of 12 inhalations each. To keep track of this, our third phase, we can rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the heart region of our chest. Please chant with me. The beauty of sky blue kuntu zong po and cloud white kuntu zong mo yam byum remind us of the highest love, spontaneous and uncontrived. The late Tulku Thondup insisted that no amount of focus or analysis could concoct the highest love. All it could do is contrive an analog of love. Like when you go to the grocery store and you buy an analog of a tomato and it's perfectly round, but it's not quite red, and it's you open it up and it doesn't really smell right and it tastes kind of mealy. Then the next day you go to a farmer's market and you get a tomato and it's not perfectly round. It's kind of mutant looking, but it smells amazing, it tastes amazing, and just remembering it sets your mouth to water. So, if neither focus nor analysis if we cannot use either focus or analysis to coerce ourselves into loving, then what is the path? What is the highest love? Well, the highest love is spontaneous and uncontrived, and it's the effortless byproduct of the mindfulness that notices when we inhale, and the meditation that releases when we exhale. Just playing with this, and of course, just silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this as we inhale, and silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease as we exhale, will stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus, which here is depicted as resembling a fuchsia letter C. This bad boy functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, which in turn is the root of compassion and love. Thus, by merely playing with mindfulness and meditation every 12 hours or so, we set ourselves up to effortlessly wish others well, communicate kindly, conduct ourselves considerately, at least non-violently, and practice commerce in a manner that is as cooperative as it is kind. So together, as a team, let's meditate. We come now to the fourth and final phase of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If we wish to do so for 96 breaths, we'll have to multiply this by 8. That's where our left hand comes in. For we count sets. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations each. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each. And we keep track of this fourth phase by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce at the crown of our head. Please chant with me. The stability with which Kablu Mandra sits, and the abandon with which Cloud White Samantha sports, remind us of the effortless effort of centered spontaneity. By silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, thus facilitating noticing in a manner that is vulnerable, passive, visceral, random, and fleeting. And by silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, thus helping us to release our resistance to the absence of that which we crave, as well as releasing our resistance to the present of that which we hate. We set in motion a falling domino-like series of events that cause our choices, utterances, and deeds to flow from the effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity. No, not the scattered spontaneity we experience after our fourth or fifth espresso, but the centered spontaneity that is cultivated through the practices of mindfulness and meditation. Some would describe this as flowing with our Buddha nature. Buddha nature is a charming Iron Age way of describing that which we now in the digital age, the age of imaging, the age of fMRIs, would say is this, that the three components of our Buddha nature would be our sympathetic nervous system, the seat of mindfulness, our parasympathetic nervous system, the seat of meditation, and our anterior cingulate gyrus, the seat of empathy. Mindfulness and meditation allows us to facilitate us, our metamorphosis into becoming what we were always intended to become by evolution, what we once were during the Paleolithic era. People defined by being flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. Let's meditate. I sincerely hope that you have found this to be helpful. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 11 hours or so, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.